But to wrap up the show, I wanted to spend some time to talk about some kind of some messages we got.
Yes.
So everyone knows we got a Instagram, and some of the things that I have, like I said. So if you want to like talk to us on there, we're on there. I got one that I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like someone says something and you're like, I have no context that maybe you threw a word. He said some random shit, and I was just like, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
I'm not responding for sure. So if I don't respond to you, I apologize. Sometimes I'm just like, I'm not messing with that can of worms. I don't know. Just FYI. So here's some of these questions. Ready?
Okay.
So the first one, wanted to say, glad Izzy is doing better. In some episode, he looks like he's going through something. And so I think what they're referring to is like in our earlier episodes, if you look at your hair and your beard, you look homeless. You look like life has been rough. Like, like you show up and you're like, hey, how you doing? And people are like, you okay, man? So I think that's what we're referring to. So they're glad you're doing better. It looks like you're more groomed.
Let me answer that. I'm going to answer that. So whoever wrote that question, thanks for the question. But the reason why I might look like I'm going through some stuff is because I don't work. I'm retired. All I do is school. I don't have no headaches to deal with. I don't have to worry about being fired the next day. I don't have to worry about where my next paycheck is coming from. So if I don't want to shave, I don't have to shave. I don't want to cut my hair. I don't have to cut my hair. Me looking the way I look is because I could give two fucks what anybody else thinks of how I look. I don't have nobody to impress. I don't need to impress nobody. So that's why it might seem like I'm going through some stuff, but I'm not. I'm not going through anything, but I'm able to just be me without having to worry about anything. Oh, is my boss going to like the way I look? Is this going to look proper? Is that going to look proper? I could care less because I can. I'm fortunate to where I can do that. Unlike other people that they have to look a certain way, dress a certain way just because of who they surround themselves with, what employment they work for. Like you can't show up the way if looking like me with a full grown beard and your hair afro doing real estate and everything else. I mean, you probably can, but then they're going to look at you and be like, yo, Mike looks fucking out of control. Again, to me, doesn't matter. But thanks at least for thinking about me, thinking that I was going through some stuff, though. I appreciate whoever wrote that. So thank you.
That's like someone like, hey, I look horrible, but let me try to explain it like where I'm fucking better than you. I love it. All right, here's the second question. Does Izzy ever plan on going back into the Matrix?
Never. Never. No, honestly, I'll answer that. I'll be for real. So I should, God willing, will be graduating in May. Once I'm done graduating in May, depending how everything else goes with the VA and everything else, I might, but my outlook, and I think I expressed it before, is my outlook is I want to work overseas in Europe. And if I could find a gig out there and do something out there, then Israel will be back in the Matrix. But as for now, Israel is not in the Matrix and doesn't see himself in the Matrix anytime soon. So that's that.
Next one. Does Mike ever look like he's not so serious? So I get this complaint a lot. This is what I did with my daughter, right? So I showed because we had to we're getting our passports redone, right? Like they're all due. And so we went to go, we went to like CVS or one of like Walgreens, where the fucking store is, and got our photo for passports, right? And so my daughter looks at me like that, and I go, Celine, and I go, does this photo look like this photo? And I pull up my ID. She goes, yep. I go, does it look like this photo? It's my VA one. She goes, yep. And it's like, I pull up these old random ones, and it's like the same face, just boom, boom. Dude, so of course I do another podcast, right? So I do another podcast. It's with Static Business with my boy Marcus Cottle, right? So we're doing that one, and we have one that went like mini viral. Like it had like 40, maybe 50,000 views on the video, right?
Okay.
So it did really well. And one of the comments was like, he was like, bro, that guy looks so unimpressed with whatever you're saying. He could care less what you're saying today. Dude, there was so many comments about how I looked like I just didn't care about what he was saying.
There was a comment that I forgot in one of our videos that said, yo, does he get high before the episode? Is he high? Yeah. Because you're just no expression
I look still. No expression. Yes. So, yeah.
If you follow Mike on social media and look at his outside pictures, like events that he does with his colleagues and stuff like that, Yo, everybody in the room is smiling. They're posing. They want to make sure they look good in the picture. And you could see the prisoner in the picture with the most serious face. And that's Mike. Yes, Mike is always serious. Yeah. Always.
Do it. If there's ever a comment about me, it's that I like how I look. Like, but I'm not smiling. I'm not doing anything. Yeah. And people are just like, what's wrong with that guy? Like, I'm like, I'm just blank. Like, I'm just here. So anyways, all right. So this is the last one.
Okay.
It goes, do y'all have any life advice for a guy looking to go into the military, but doesn't want to leave his girlfriend?
Ooh, okay. I'll give you this. Yes, you can. I'll say this: join the military, because if that is your last option, or that's something that you're really intrigued to want to do. I always recommend people, if you could do college, and then see if you could find yourself a good occupation. If you could do that route, if not, then by all means the military. And why? Good security, your medical's covered, your dental's covered. Everything is pretty much covered, that you can't get fired unless you do something really dumb, felony-wise, or something, drugs or whatever. But your security blanket in the military is sort of guaranteed. And the reward is you do your 20 years and you can retire at such a young age, depending on when you go in, and you have a, full the thrift savings plans, pension, everything else. Plus, your school will get covered. Your college tuition will be paid for. It could pass it on to your kids with the post 9/11 GI Bill, so on and so forth. The girlfriend part. Yes, you could bring her. Once you join the military, and if you want your girlfriend to come be with you and everything else, but believe me when I say that, and I'm not trying to scare this person, there have been many people that have joined the military that had a girlfriend or boyfriend, and as they went through training school and so on, that relationship died because they found somebody else, they met somebody else, or they simply were just wanting to have fun, because you're going to get to travel, you're going to get on deployments, and you're going to meet a whole bunch of people. So when they say there's plenty of fish in the sea, there is plenty of fish in the sea. So I have witnessed it. I have seen it. I know people that actually had their relationships broken off just because they met somebody else and everything else. So it's sort of a tippy-toe situation to where it can work out, but if it doesn't, it's not like it's something new. It happens all the fucking time. So that's my advice.
Dude, what's up with you lately in relationships, man? It seems like you're defending the shit out of being single. I swear. You go the extra mile with defending singleness. You're like that guy who's like, I swear, singles are the best thing. You're like, all right, bro. Like, I just said how you're doing today.
Is the best thing. It is. As a matter of fact, let me ask you that. I'm going to put you on the spot right now. And you could choose to answer it. If you want to answer it, you answer it. If you, God forbid, the day comes where you and your wife divorce, do you see yourself getting married again?
We're not getting divorced.
I understand that, but if it does happen, let's just say the divorce happens. She decides, I want to go with somebody else. I don't want to be in the relationship no more. Or I fell out of love with you. I don't love you no more. And you're divorced. You both divorced and everything else. Would you get married again down the road?
This is how serious I am about the relationship. We don't even talk about that shit. Don't even go that route. Like, I don't play with that shit. I don't even entertain that shit. I'm being dead serious, man. It's like the shit we talked about earlier. Like, I'm being married to this woman to the day I die. Like, that's how I look at this. So, right on the spot. Like, do you think about it? Don't think about it. I don't play with that shit. Like, that shit's bad juju. You fucking start entertaining these thoughts. Fuck that shit. Me and this woman are being married together.
So that's the advice you give that guy. That's the advice you give that guy. If you see yourself with your girlfriend, then you and her will be boyfriend and girlfriend forever.
Yeah. This is how I look at it. Like, if somebody was saying like, hey, what's your advice? I'd sit there and say, like, you should never let a relationship say no to a thing, right? And if you're young, if you're I don't know, right? But let's assume, let's have assumptions. You're probably 20 or below. Mm-hmm. Then I would sit there and say, like, the probability that you found the one is very low. I would sit there and say, you're still young enough where you don't really know. I would go into the military and just know that if you're ever one of these people that are that fucking stupid that meets somebody for 3 days and gets married, that story is actually very common. So you're fine. From where you're, if this is your high school sweetheart for 6 months, you're in a lot better shape than that guy who met a stripper and is married now 3 days later, which is a real story. We all know somebody or someone with a very close story like that. I went on leave and got married. I went on leave and got, I went on Christmas break, got married. I started someone talking to me like, there's so many different stories where people are like, I did this, I did that. I met this person in tech school. I met this school in A school or whatever school you had. Yeah. Somebody met somebody for a couple of weeks and got married. And they're like, that happens, right? Somebody on deployment. You're fine. You're entering into a realm of people that do some of the craziest things in the world. And there's some people that met for 3 weeks and got married and they're still together. There's some people who met for 3 weeks and a lot of them are not together still. There's some people that they knew the wife, they were the best friend of the wife and they cheated and they got married. So what I would say is, if you decided to stay with this girlfriend, people might make fun of you, but you will find out there's a lot other stories that's it, right? I got dumped in Iraq. Like I had a girl and I was like, oh, she's a one, it's my heart, my soul, And then I was like, hey, we got extended in Iraq. And she was like, I can't do this no more. Like, damn, that was it. That was the camel that broke the straw.
Right.
So you never know. So that'd be my advice. I'd be like, just take it. But on a real serious note, I would sit there and say, like, don't ever look at like it has to be either or. You know what I mean? If it has to be long distance for a little while, it's going to require a lot of effort. Do they work? A lot of times they don't, because of people are not trying to put in the work. Same thing with marriages. A lot of times they don't work because they're not trying to put in the effort. Again, like I said, that my wife is so sacred to me. When you're saying, if this happened, no, we don't even entertain. No, I don't play with that word. That word ain't coming up. We having discussions about it. We ain't like what ifs. Cause why? Cause that's not a what if scenario. The what if scenario is that I tell her all the time is like, okay, we're at my funeral. The coffin opens up and someone tells you to get in and they're going to close the gate. We're going together. Like, that's how we're going. I'm going to kill you at the end and you're going to be buried alive with me. That's the joke I do. Because, right? But the reason why is because we're together. We're in this forever. Right. That type of shit. Damn. That's the joke that we play. But if someone was like, hey, what you did, right? What about this? Mm-hmm. Oh, we don't know. That ain't something I don't even like. No, we ain't talking about that. We ain't discussing it. We ain't even bring that shit up in the world. Yeah. Someone's like, would you ever like, no, I think about one thing only is my life with this woman. Right. And that's what I'm saying. And if you're not that serious, then you're going to have problems. Have my wife and I had to be long distance. I came to the States with my daughter and she had to stay in Japan before she got her green card and had to come here. Cool, man. Looks like it's going to suck for a little while, but we're going to talk every night. We're going to text and we're going to do all these things. Why? Because that's what it is. And so I would just say like, if you're serious, then you got to work for it.
I agree. But you know who none of that will ever happen to?
That's you.
This guy.
That's good.
This guy joined in at 18, all the way made it to 38, retired, and never had any of those stories happen to this guy. Oh, I had a lot of friends in there. A lot of friends. Desert Queens. There was a lot of Desert Queens on the deployment. Woo! In the NCO club. How many of this? All the single ladies. They weren't single ladies, but they were out there in the NCO clubs while the spouse was away. The horror stories are there and they're true, man. But the one common thing that at least you and I could say is definitely join the military. It's a good career. It's a good security. And it's like I said, I always tell people, hey, if you could do college and get a good job or go reserves for a little bit just to see how it is, how the structure is, maybe do guard. And then if you really like it, then go active. Because I've seen a lot of active and they hate it. And then they go reserves and they love it. You know, it's a little bit more peaceful, easier, whatever the case would be. But I mean, you went from active to reserve. So, but
and it was the worst thing ever. I was like, I'm done. And it was like, no, it's a cool gig. Like, I'm out of here. Like, this is why we make fun of you guys. This is why. This is the fucking same reason.
Wait, but the questions were on our IG page? Were there people making comments in there?
So, if y'all have any questions, man, DM us. We can get stuff on. Yeah, hit us up on Instagram. We'll ask questions. We'll take more questions and stuff like that. People were concerned about you, man. There's a lot of people that know you. And, like, one of our latest clips about you, like, proclaiming how great single life is, there was people concerned, like, you know, first thing I think out everyone's word is, like, who hurt him? What's her name? because whoever hurt him fucking hurt him good. And apparently, when he was in kindergarten, he just swore off women after that. So it is what it is. That's true.
Let's go.
Whoever hurt you hurt you good because you were just like never again, and you like literally
guy.
Serious.
Not this guy.
It happened once. Dude, every time like that, I know every time someone hears that, they're just like, "Oh, pobrecito," like give him a hug.
Not this guy.
All right, brother. Until next time.
Later.